Something said.
Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing something a little different and something that's been requested by people on Snapchat every time I bring up this topic. So I'm going to talk about how to stay friends with your ex and my experience of having done it once. And I have, drumroll please, a special guest! It's my ex-boyfriend Liam, who's kindly agreed to come and be in my YouTube video.
Do people really request this on Snapchat?
Well,
But I just got a little scared.
so,
Oh!
there's Coileán.
I got
the
it
third
right.
person in our relationship.
You come up here and say hello. No.
Coileán usually manages to sit only in the background of my YouTube videos. Don't you love him?
You gave me a fright, Coileán.
Okay, so... Oh, see ya. So Liam was friends with a guy I lived with named Regan. Hi Regan! We first met, do you mind me saying this? When Liam was really, really drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, Liam was going through what I would call a partying phase. Is that accurate?
Oh my god, if I hadn't known this was what this was going to be about, I could have just sold my story to the Sunday world.
Okay, so Liam was going through a phase of going out a lot, but also he was living in Newbridge. So I think what would happen is he'd come into town with absolutely no strategic exit plan. True? He would come into town.
That's accurate.
Yeah, get absolutely hammered, and then call or text Regan and go, "I need you to come and stay on your couch," and so that's how we first met. But I'd heard about you. I think Regan had talked about you. You know, just kind of going, my friend Liam. Like, I think Regan's like really hilarious, but really, really dry. And Regan would be like, "I have this younger friend Liam. He's really into puppets and musicals." So that was kind of what I knew about you before I met you. And then when I first met you, you were very drunk and very friendly. Very friendly.
I am very friendly.
You are very friendly, yeah. That Todd was just Coileán dropping her bone off the end of the bed and then staring at it like an idiot. Yeah, so that's when we first met.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a time, maybe like the third or fourth time that like drunken sleepover happened, that Regan said to me afterwards, "Oh, I think Liam likes you," because when he got in last night really drunk, he was like, "I want to go in and say hello to Rosemary." And apparently you would not listen to reason, and you were like, "She won't mind, she likes me, she won't mind. I'm just going to knock on her door." And I think Regan had to practically manhandle you away from my bedroom tour.
Oh my god.
It's so cute.
I'm going red.
Slightly pink, I'd say. Lobster shade. And then when did we first hook up? Like, when did that happen? We hooked up.
We were messaging on Facebook, I think, for a while. I think that was...
How modern of us. Or is that old fashioned now? Is like Snapchat the new Facebook?
Dunno, you tell me. But yeah, we were messaging for a while on Facebook. Sorry, I'm just
He's
going
so
through
excited.
puberty. And yeah, we were messaging, and then I think the first time we ever kind of went out on like a night out, I was in town and it was during the day, and I think we were then texting or messaging, and you were like, "Oh, do you want to come out? Like, I'm going out with two of my friends." And I was like, "Okay," and I hadn't planned for it, and I hate going like out on unscheduled
Impromptu night. We have that in common.
So I arrived.
Was it in the No Name bar above?
Yeah.
But hadn't we before then gone for a coffee one day? We'd
Oh,
gone
we
for a
did.
coffee
Yeah, you're right. In
Fallenburn.
Fallenburn, yeah.
Yeah, so
You're
we've
right.
gone for like a daytime, we're not sure if we're just going to be friends yet, coffee. Yeah. No, we had though, hadn't we?
Yeah, no.
Kind of like, the two of us, I think, were kind of like, oh, maybe this is a date, but it was during the daytime, so it wasn't really very datey, so we went for a coffee. And then, yeah, I was out with my friends Emma and Sarah. And I remember it specifically because we were sitting upstairs in the No Name bar, and I remember Emma was sitting on the left, and for the remainder of our relationship,
And still now.
and still now, Liam calls this Emma on the left.
Because
I
you
have
know
a few,
two Emmas.
Yeah, I have a few
several
Emmas.
yeah.
Yeah. So Emma's always Emma on the left. I think that was another one of your like, "Oh, I haven't got an exit plan." So you ended up coming back to my house, and I was like, you know, like that coy kind of, "Oh, you just stay here. We're not going to kiss or anything." But you say now that you knew it was a sure thing all along.
What?
You said that to me.
Oh my
said that to me.
gosh.
You were like, I knew we went for that drink. You definitely did.
Oh, I don't remember that, but I have a bad memory.
Yeah, in your memory, you're way more polite. You were such a rude little cad. I knew that was going to happen.
What, on the night?
No, like a couple of months later. You were like, "Oh, you're being so coy, but I knew it was going to happen."
Wow, I sound like a dickhead.
And then, I don't actually really remember when we... No, but I mean when we officially started going out then. Because it was quite... I think we just kind of went on a couple of dates and that was that.
That was that.
Yeah. And then you were still living at home.
I was.
Sorry, so embarrassing. What age were you? 30,
Yeah, go on. keep going.
34?
I was not 34. How dare you?
And then we'd been going out about 6 months. Oh, well, actually, I should say. So I was living with Regan, and then didn't I move home with my parents because I had this.
Oh yeah, you
harebrained-
did. Yeah.
So I had this idea that I was going to move home with my parents for like 2 years, save millions, and then buy a house. I've had those plans a couple of times in my life. I'm like, I'm going to move home and become really frugal. But it never happens. So I moved home. You were living at home. I think we've been going out about 6 months where we both kind of went, fuck it, let's just get a place. Didn't we? And let's move in together. I think it was 6 months because it was quite early in our relationship.
Yeah, it was. You're not like skipping the whole part where you like dumped me.
Oh, I wasn't going to bring that up.
Scandal!
I just didn't think that was relevant to the story.
Oh, conveniently for you.
Okay, so how long were we going out when I dumped you? It was about 5 months, wasn't it? Because it was soon before we moved in together. When I was going through a hard time personally. It's very mean of you to bring this up. And I used to do this thing before I started seeing my therapist and got all calm and zen, where when I basically felt like I had like loads on and I'd get really, really stressed, I would try to cancel things. So I would like look forward in my diary and be like, I'm going to cancel this, I'm going to cancel this, I'm going to cancel this. And this is just making this sound really bad, but
She put a big pen line through a Liam.
it's so bad. But I basically was feeling really anxious and really, really stressed at this particular point. And I just didn't feel like I had room for all of these things in my life. And the only thing that I could really see that would be easy than
Need a
other
glass of water?
to cancel was our relationship. But I did realise really soon.
You did.
It was like 3 or 4 days, wasn't it? When I had a panic and was like, shit, what have I done?
Well, as far as I remember, you had asked like several people in your life about the situation, and they all said,
You're an
"Oh
idiot."
my God, ring Liam right now."
Yeah. My sister is such a like integral part in telling me when I'm making huge fucking mistakes. But my sister called me and was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I remember talking to her, and I was in such a weird headspace as well. That I remember talking to her and being like, "Beatrice, he keeps his toaster in the drawer." Because I remember being over in your house.
Yeah.
And you keep your toaster in the press, and I found this so weird that I
My
was like,
friends still do that.
I know, but I was like, I can't be with someone who keeps his toaster in the drawer. She was like, "You're being a psycho." But it was one of those things that I had obviously just grabbed onto.
Yeah.
This particular detail.
I don't keep my toaster in the drawer now.
Oh, good.
But now that you've pointed it out, maybe I will. So then,
I got Coileán, the love of my life,
it was only a puppy.
who was only a puppy. I got her in those days that we broke up, didn't I? So it was like
Yeah.
a really quick.
Yeah,
Like,
she replaced me
yeah, I had a panic.
with Coileán.
Got a puppy, which is a terrible thing to do if you have a panic, by the way. And then I called you and was like, "I'm really sorry. I really want to get back together." And you were totally playing hardball. I think Liam was devastated. You were devastated, weren't you? So I went to meet Liam to basically beg him to take me back, and I took the puppy with me, which was genius. If you're
Yeah.
ever trying to get back with somebody, bring a puppy. Works every single time.
How calculated was
experience.
that?
It wasn't at all. Well, I didn't get the puppy thinking, "Oh, I'll get a puppy and we'll get back together." But I definitely did think, if we have a huge fight or if we don't get back together, at least we have the puppy to like focus on. And I remember, I think even like getting out of the car and being like, "Look, it's a puppy." Like,
Yeah, you did.
puppy. Yeah.
It worked, because Coileán's adorable. She's
Coileán is
asleep.
adorable. Yeah, so we got back together.
Yeah,
And then we moved in together pretty quickly after that.
we did. Into this very house.
Into this very house. Into this very room? Is this the first room that we... Yeah. No, but I mean...
That we moved into,
That
yeah.
we moved into, yeah. Because we swapped rooms a couple of times because I couldn't decide which...
Yeah.
Do you think that we moved in together too soon, in hindsight?
No.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
And so then...
Do you?
No, well, I don't regret us going out at all because I'm so glad that you're in my life and that we're in each other's lives. But I do wonder sometimes if we should never have gone out, that we should just have been best friends. Because I feel like you're probably in my life one of my soulmates. Not to get really sappy about it. No, but I mean, like, you're one of the people that I've met in my life who I feel like I connect with and I love like family. Do you know what I mean? But I wonder if when I met you and I had this, like, this connection where I went, "Oh my God, like, I love this person," did I then misconstrue that for a romance when maybe actually that wasn't really there for us?
I like maybe.
That's really romantic, you. No, but I mean, that kind of leads on to when and why we broke up. So we broke up after a year and a half of going out, wasn't it? So like a year after we moved into the house.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think while we were living together, after a while, after a good while. How long did you say we were living together?
We were living together a year. So we were going out 6 months, then we lived together for a year, and then we broke up. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We were only going out a year and a half when we broke up, weren't we?
Dunno.
I'm pretty sure.
I can say that now.
What do you think our relationship was like? Did we have a good relationship?
Yeah.
Did we ever fight?
No. We were the perfect couple. No fighting ever.
We totally fought.
Yeah, we did.
We didn't fight a lot. Like I wouldn't think our neighbours would be like, oh, they're fighting again.
No, definitely not because I'm a sulk.
You're an absolute sulker, and we would
so
start
if we were fighting, I would just like leave the house.
Yeah, or you would like absolutely silently leave the room. It used to drive me demented. You would just walk out, and I'd be like, Liam, you can't just walk away from your problems.
Yeah.
So
oh my
annoying.
god, that was one of her catchphrases.
You can't though. It's so annoying. By and large, I think we got on, but I think towards the end, like, or you know, in the last maybe 6 months of our relationship, that was probably when I kind of like. Well, I think I have a really bad habit of when I'm single, which is kind of rare and only for short spaces of time. We'll get to that in a second. Well, any time that I've been single in my past, I don't think I would do it now because I don't drink at all. But I would kind of go out and drink and, you know, go out on nights out. So when we first met, we would go out and drink together and, you know, go out on nights out. But then towards the end, I just stopped being interested in drinking because it's not really a huge thing for me, but I am a little hypocrite because when I was single, I'd be like, woo, drink! And when I'm in a relationship, I'm like, I just want to stay and watch Netflix. Yeah, so I think you would go out and I wouldn't. And I mean, it wasn't a huge problem, but it just meant that we kind of had separate lives to a certain extent. So we would, because we both worked at home, we would spend a lot of time together, but then we wouldn't really go out and socialise with our friends together, or we wouldn't have nights out together and stuff. And I think for me, then, it just became, we were really, really good friends.
Yeah, and I think we both knew that when it was coming near the end, and I think it was just hard for both of us to kind of like admit that, I think.
I think it was really hard because we really liked our life together. Do you know what I mean? That we had this really nice house, this really nice life, this really nice dog.
We had a baby.
We had a baby. Well, the dog. He's talking about the dog. And yeah, like we were very kind of settled in that way. And I think for me anyway, there were definitely moments where I was like, you know, maybe this is actually better than most people's lives. Do you know what I mean? So I was going like, do we break up because I don't feel like we have a hugely passionate romantic relationship, or do we stay together because actually I'm really happy with everything else? But then I kind of felt like, well, you wanted more than that. I suppose I wanted more than that if I thought about it, you know, idealistically. Does that make sense? And we're talking about sex. Am I allowed to say that?
I don't know. What?
It was like a lot of hugging and hand holding. Wasn't it? It was kind of like a primary school relationship. With more like X-rated talk.
Anyway.
Do you want to cut that bit out? About the sex? Yeah, and then I remember it kind of came to a head at my friends Fran and Tristan at their wedding.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I remember we had this, like, you always have these conversations at the worst time. You're like celebrating someone's wedding, and I remember standing at the bar and being like, do you think we're going to break up? Like, you know, we're not going to get married, but, you know, because, you know, we love each other, but we're not in love anymore, and there's no passion. And
you talked exactly like that.
Yeah, I did, yeah. And on the night that I think we were like, no, we're going to stay together because we love each other. But then I feel like it was almost the next day that the two of us kind of woke up and went, oh, this is over.
It was shortly after.
Yeah, and it was really sad.
It was really sad.
Yeah. And then, so we broke up, and then we had basically a nightmare because well, I had a nightmare.
I had a nightmare. Excuse you.
No, but I mean, we were living in this house. My friend Kira lived here too because she had been, her tenancy had come.
We adopted her as well.
Yeah, her tenancy had come to an end, and so she had moved in with us, you know, until she found a new place. I think she was here for maybe 6 months. And then when we broke up, basically one of us had nowhere to sleep. And Liam has a bad back, so I ended up being the one who had to sleep on the couch.
What?
Yeah, but well,
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. Oh my god, do you not remember that?
No.
Well, to be fair, I only slept on the couch once. I slept with Kira. Well, no, but I mean, if anyone was sleeping on the couch, it was me, because you couldn't sleep on the couch because of your back.
That's true. I have a back cushion.
He has a back cushion. You could have taken your back cushion down to the couch and slept on that. But basically, I slept with Kira a couple of nights, and then I went and I stayed with my aunt and uncle. And it was kind of weird as well. I think that was the only time since we met each other that we didn't really get on.
Didn't we think that maybe we would still live together and it would be fine, like after Kira moved out and that we had the 2 separate rooms.
Yeah, because basically I think Kira had been planning on moving out anyway, but then we broke up, so I was like, Kira, if you could like speed that up. I think she was a bit kind of peeved about that. And then I was a bit peeved because I was basically kicked out of my bedroom, and Kira had a new boyfriend who's now her husband, so it's all fine. But oh my god, imagine if they'd broken up, I'd be like, what a waste. So basically, like, you know, on the nights that he stayed over or whatever, I was essentially an orphan. So I went to stay with my aunt and uncle who live in Rathmines for, I think, a week or 2. Yeah, it was kind of weird that, like, after we broke up, we were thinking that we were going to live together, but somehow going from the dynamic of being in a relationship to then being friends was really difficult, because all of a sudden, like, I couldn't say to you, here, wash that up. You know what I mean? When we were going out, I'd be like, Liam, why are your cups in the sink? You know, or like, you know, do you think you're going to hang out that wash or whatever? Or like, will you put on a wash? Or, you know what I mean? That you share chores. Whereas then all of a sudden when we broke up, I was like, Liam, being really messy and I'm not allowed to say anything about it. That's what I remember. I remember being really, really irritated with you a lot. Because suddenly the things that obviously I'd felt free to be really bossy about before, I just suddenly couldn't be bossy about. That I'd no right. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I'm not that messy.
Well...
So then I felt like we were going to kill each other.
Yeah.
We agreed that you would stay here and look after our child who's over there.
Only I think because we would have, I think, had more trouble deciding who was going to stay in the house, except that A, I owned the dog, and B...
We both own the dog.
Will I send you half her vet bills since we broke
Well,
up?
on just side there.
She's like, from a broken home.
Yeah.
Oh no, she's from a blended family now.
We're so modern.
But you also decided you weren't sure if you could afford the rent here.
Yeah, that's true. So I started looking for a place, and in the meantime, we were going to kill each other.
Because it took you a while.
Yep, because we live in Dublin.
Yeah, but you also didn't go and see anywhere for ages. There was at least 2 weeks where you were like...
At least
yeah.
2 weeks?
There was at least 2 weeks.
2 weeks is fine. 2 weeks is not that long.
2 weeks is a long time to have no bed. And you'd be like, yeah, you know, I saw a place, but I'm not really sure about it. And I'd be like, just pick up the phone and go and see them.
Well, yeah, but they were all like really crappy.
I know.
Because this house is really nice, so...
It's hard to go from caviar to, what's like a shitty fish? Tuna?
Chicken nuggets.
A shitty fish. Chicken is chicken. What's a shitty fish? Chicken nuggets?
Anyway,
you found a place and moved out. And then I feel like we took a kind of a break. Where we didn't really talk for kind of 2 weeks.
I don't remember this period at all.
Yeah, I don't remember it either, because I definitely remember... I hope you don't mind me saying this. I definitely remember when you broke it, when you moved out, thinking, I just do not want to talk to him now. You know what I mean? But like I think the two of us were quite irritated with each other.
Yeah, no,
oh
we
my
were.
god, crucial point though that I'm totally leaving out. A week after we broke up, remember, I went out with my friends and hooked up with Stephen, my current boyfriend. I know, it was really bad, wasn't it? It was so soon. Like, we'd literally broken up, we were still living together. And also, I hadn't gone out and, like, had a drink with you in about 9 months, because I was like, I'm not bothered, I don't really like going out. And then as soon as we broke up, I got all dressed up, got really drunk, and went out with my friends, and was like, I love being young, free, and single. So I'm sure for you, that was like, what the fuck? Was it?
I think it's understandable when you get single, or when you become single and you just want to go out and have a few drinks. I think that's fine.
Let loose.
Yeah, she let loose.
But you were annoyed about Stephen, weren't you? Like, initially.
Yeah, because I was still living here.
Well, I didn't bring him home.
But also because you went out with Claire.
Yes.
You went out with your friend Claire and you didn't come home, but she was staying here.
Yeah, because I think she wouldn't go home because it was too expensive to get a taxi or something.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't she? And what did she say? Like,
I can't remember what she said, but there was, when you arrived home then, you thought that she had told me the truth, and... Because
I remember now, because I came into the sitting room and you were sleeping on the couch.
Yeah.
You'd obviously forgone your back problems that one time. And you said something like, well, where were you? And the way you said it, I was like, oh, he knows that I slept over and he doesn't mind. And I was like, obviously Claire told Jeremy, so oh god, sorry. And then you were really peeved.
I was.
Yeah. Granted, it was a bit soon. And I think actually you were peeved, but probably 5% of how peeved I would have been. Mm-hmm. The other way around. Do you know what I mean? That I think you were annoyed for a couple of... Like, not even annoyed. I think it just hurt your feelings. Did it hurt your feelings? I'm really sorry. I wouldn't do it again. Well, I would because it meant that I met Stephen. Sorry. Yeah, so I started going out with Stephen, and then you found somewhere else to live after a long search that involved him not being as proactive as I would have liked you to have been. I think I remember that was like a bit of a bugbear, that we were kind of hating each other for those couple of weeks. And I think there was definitely a couple of weeks where we didn't really talk. Yeah, where we kind of took a breather.
Yep.
And then do you remember like the first time we saw each other after that, or
Actually
what
don't.
happened?
It's really, that period, like the period where after we broke up, where we weren't talking, like I don't remember that at all.
No, I almost feel like you just texted me one day and were like, can I call you? And they were asking me about work or something. Do you know what I mean? That I almost feel like it was like we took a little break and then we just were totally normal again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That like, because I mean, any time that I've broken up with an ex, you know, you've had these kind of long, protracted breakups where a couple of weeks later you're like, let's sit down and meet for coffee and talk about this, or, you know, really need to talk about this. We never had that. And we never had a like, let's make friends again. I think it was just like, after a couple of weeks we realised we really wanted to talk to each other. And then we just started talking to each other again. So what do you think, like, what was it about our relationship, or what is it about our friendship that has meant that we were able to stay friends?
I think we just click. I think, yeah, I don't know. I think we're very similar people, and we have a similar outlook on life that actually I don't think I really encounter in a huge amount of people that I meet in general anyway.
I'm really special.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's probably it. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, I definitely think it's that we click, but I also think it's that, especially towards the end of our relationship, when we lived together and when we were still officially going out, it wasn't a really romantic relationship. Like, it was just a really, really good friendship with two people who called each other boyfriend and girlfriend and lived together. But like, you know, I think we didn't really have the kind of passionate side. We definitely weren't in love with each other anymore. So I think in a way when we broke up, it wasn't like we were both suddenly really heartbroken that we didn't have that romance anymore, because we hadn't had that romance in ages. So it just kind of was like, okay, well, now that we've taken this label off our relationship, why not just continue the relationship? Do you know what I mean? That was a really good friendship when we got on really well and we had a really good time together. It just would have been mad, I think, to not stay friends.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have made any sense. But I definitely think for Stephen as well, I think it was a bit odd. Because I lied to him. So like when we first started going out, I was like, oh, you know, I'm just out of a bad breakup 3 months ago. Like, I definitely was not going, yeah, me and my boyfriend broke up a week ago.
And he's in my house.
Yeah. I think I told him we still live together. I was like, it's just really complicated, we still live together. But I definitely let on that we'd broken up a lot longer ago than we had.
You little fibber.
Yeah, but I think for him as well, if I'd hidden it from him or something, you know, like, it helps that he's not a jealous person, but if I had tried to hide our relationship from him and then a couple of weeks later been like, oh, you know, Liam's still my friend, I think that would have been really weird. Whereas you met him really early on.
Did I? No, I didn't.
I think you met him when we were going out for about 3 months.
No way.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I didn't meet Stephen for about a year.
That's really weird. I don't remember that at all. So I kept you from each other.
No, you didn't. I thought it was weird.
Oh, to meet him?
Yeah, so
you were
like,
kind of putting it off?
Yeah.
Huh.
So you're definitely like saying, come over to the barbecue and whatever, and like, oh no, I can't make it.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had a Christmas party and stuff, and I was like, come over for drinks, and you were like, no, it's weird.
Well, I think I thought it would be particularly weird in that, like,
My friends
all
would
your
be there
friends
as well.
would be there.
Yeah.
I thought that bit was weird.
Okay, so you didn't meet him for about a year. But you know what? I was talking to somebody recently, a friend of mine from college, because I think actually being in a relationship where the person isn't jealous at all, that would have been a huge problem if he had been jealous for our relationship. Because I think as well, our friendship as a friendship was so new when I started going out with Stephen, that if he had been really jealous and had a huge problem with it, it would have made things really difficult. And I don't know necessarily that our friendship would have survived. I don't know that our relationship would have survived either, because I wouldn't necessarily want to be with somebody who was really jealous, but I think it would have made it really fraught in the early days. And like, I met a friend recently from college who, we were talking about you, and she was like, oh my god, are you still friends with him? And I was like, oh yeah, he's my best friend. And she goes, oh my god, you want to nip that in the bud?
What?
Yeah. And I was like, what? Going like, what do you mean? And she was like, oh no, like, my boyfriend wouldn't stand for that at all. Like, that's and she goes, that's going to ruin your relationship.
I love the way she said that, like last week. Did you know that, like, you've been going out with Stephen for like 3 years, and that we've been friends and everything's fine? Yeah. That's so weird.
I think she was just like expecting that one day Stephen's going to wake up and be like, oh my god, what is happening? Imagine. But like, you do hear about these weird things with like, say if my boyfriend called you up and was like, I'm not comfortable with this, you need to stay away from her husband. Oh my god, I love that. I love that. Imagine, I feel so loved. And do you know what else people ask me? Okay, like 2 people. Is have we ever fallen into bed together since we broke up?
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah. Have we ever slipped?
No.
No, I mean obviously like, no, we haven't. I mean,
Are you asking?
because I've been going out with Stephen since like the second we broke up. But as well, like, it's just never even occurred to me. Has it ever occurred to you?
No.
Come on, not even once when you're like drunk.
No, not that I can remember.
That is so rude. No, it hasn't even. Because I think that part of our relationship was just dead by the time we broke up.
She's dead.
If you were talking to somebody who was like, I really want to stay friends with my ex, how did you do it? What would you say?
I think it really depends on the people. I think you just know yourself, really. Like, there's a few people that I've like broken up with, and we just have like never seen each other like ever again. Like, and it's weird when you see them out and about.
Yeah.
So I don't think it is an unusual thing. It doesn't happen that often, I don't think.
Yeah, and I actually don't think like there's nobody else that I've gone out with and broken up with that I wish we had stayed friends. All of my other breakups, I am really glad, and it's
sorry
not,
about yous.
It's not like a reflection that I hate that person. It's just like what we had was a romance. Like what we had was a relationship where we both really fancied each other, and that was all we had. Like you know, we didn't have a really strong friendship underneath it all, or you know, to support it all. So when we broke up, there was no foundation. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we had tried to stay friends, like I think people really try to force it. And I think as well, if you break up, if one or both of you doesn't want to break up, so say like there's an ex of mine that I broke up with because he moved away. He really wanted to live abroad and I didn't. I just started working in the Irish Times and I was really focused on my career and I was like, it would be really stupid to leave now. And we broke up because of that. And we were both really heartbroken. And I think if we'd tried to stay friends, it would have just made that much more difficult for us. And a lot of the time as well, I'm like, why do you want to stay friends with that person? Do you know what I mean? Because for a lot of people as well, like if you stay friends with somebody, it really hurts when they start going out with somebody else, or it really hurts if they get married or if they have kids, or you know, if they move on.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in any way feeling.
But I think that that's absolutely true. But I think that comes back to us as people, and
true.
You know our outlook on life, and we're just very easygoing. I think.
Although if you get married before me, you're fucking dead. Actually, Stephen's dead. Top tips are, don't try to stay friends with your ex, actually. I wouldn't really recommend it. Well, I mean, like, I would recommend staying friends with your ex if you have a relationship like me and Liam.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
Don't.
it feels like something people want for stupid reasons.
Well, when you think about how many relationships we both had beforehand...
Are you calling me a slut?
who we haven't stayed in touch with,
Yeah.
you know, in the past, like, there's like a few.
Yeah, thank God also. And like anytime they pop up, you know, at your birthday or Christmas when they send you a message, you're just like, oh, I'm so glad we're not friends anymore. You don't know the difference between your and your. That's important. Although Liam has his slip sometimes. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to put all of Liam's social media handles down below, but you won't be able to tune in until September. Keeping them in suspense. Woo! Because he's gone off social media for the month of August for his mental health. For your mental health, can I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like for your soul. And Liam is also chief puppeteer, puppet master, if you will.
Did you say cheese puppeteer?
Chief puppeteer.
chief.
What's a cheese puppeteer?
Dunno.
That'd be really good.
Hi,
I'd love to be a
Coileán.
cheese puppeteer. Hi, Coileán, do you want to come up here?
Coileán wants to come and say hello to me.
Come up here. Coileán's like, I should never have come over here. Liam's also chief puppeteer on Brain Freeze, the CBBC show about science. Ooh, oh, bye, Coileán. Oh, I think she's getting down. Oh no.
I know. She just wanted to be with daddy number 1.
You're daddy number 2 now. It's like we're in the den. She hates that. We are family. Are you gonna do something good with them?